All right, and away we go. Welcome to episode 3 of the Boinger Sports Podcast. Stay in your lane. Tonight we got a little bit different show. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a monologue, and then I'm going to introduce our first guest ever on the Boinger Sports Podcast, coming up in just a little bit. First things first, if you've been watching, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. I want to make sure everybody can contribute if you'd like to. I'm able to bring in guests and have more content and grow the show by selling merchandise. And this is it right now. You can get your Screw You t-shirts at Boinger Sports on Instagram or Twitter. Just click the link in the bio. It'll take you to the website. And all sizes are available in this color. This is just a prototype. As you know, the real shirt has the Houston H on it with the star logo. So for $20, you get a nice T-shirt. You can show your appreciation for the Yanks as well as your favorite team because the Astros cheated to beat everybody and win that World Series illegitimately. So please check into at Boinger Sports on Instagram or Twitter. Click the link in the bio and get yourself a T-shirt. And we'll be able to have more guests as we go along for upcoming shows throughout the next couple of months. Moving right along. I want to open today with something that's close to my heart. A friend of mine unfortunately passed away, which now 2 years ago. And because of COVID, we were unable to have a charity golf outing immediately following to help raise money for his children and their college fund. Thomas Roxfold was a dear friend of mine. The family I was very close with. We lost Tom's brother when we were just 21 years old. One of my best friends passed away from a very rare form of cancer. And just 25 years later, Tom passed away, Chris's older brother. Both were very good friends of mine. The family was like a second family to me. And then, unfortunately, we lost Tom's dad, Tom and Chris's dad, because of COVID. But we're now able to finally get together for the Roxfold Golf Outing. If you go online and look up, type in roxfoldgolfouting.com, ROKSVOLD golfouting.com. You can make a donation that will help raise money for his kids' college fund. Tom was an earth science teacher at Pelham High School, very involved in the community. Tom did security for Pelham High School at all the sporting events. Anybody that knows Tom knows that he was always someone there for his friends, someone to lend a hand, someone with a smile for you. Tremendous golf enthusiast, Mets fan, big into sports, and one of the most passionate people I know, who is not only a good friend, but just a great dad and a good husband. And he left behind his 2 children, Eric and Christina, and it is something that I want to be able to contribute to. So if you are a former Pelican or current Pelican and you're watching the show, please donate if you can. You have to have, if you'd like to go to the dinner, which is on October 1st, you can just go to the website that I mentioned, roxfoldgolfouting.com, and you can buy tickets to the dinner. I think tickets are $100, or you can just make a donation if you'd like. The deadline to make a donation, if you're going to attend the dinner, is October 1st. The dinner is on October 9th at Lake Isle. And right now, I think we have about 90 guests attending. So there's plenty of room left for those of you who'd like to attend if you're going to be around that weekend. Maybe you're home for the weekend. Maybe you're visiting Pelham for a reunion of sorts. Usually October is the time of year when that happens. So maybe you're in town. And if you're seeing this, please click the link. Go to roxfoldgolfouting.com. That's ROKSVOLD golfouting.com and make a donation or whatever you feel comfortable with. I am going to host an event a quiet vigil on October 8th, the night before the dinner. I'll be behind the stick at the candlelight, and 100% of my tips that night are going to be donated to the Roxfold Golf Outing Fund for Tom's children and their college education. So thank you for that. Please sign up if you're going to be in town. And obviously, those of you who knew Tom, you know what a great guy he was. I think it's fair to say that each person Tom interacted with has a story that's unique to them regarding Tom and will leave you with a smile on your face. Although tragic that we lost him, still will not be forgotten, always will be remembered as a happy, fun, loving guy that we will not forget. So take care of that and consider his family, please. It's close to my heart. Moving right along. Also, the dinner. I mentioned the dinner deadline is the deadline is October 1st to get tickets to the dinner. I just want to make sure I was clear on that. The dinner is October 9th. All right. Those of you who are Pelicans, former Pelicans, past and present, you'll know that I uploaded a video from 1991. That was September 21st, 1991. So it was 30 years ago to the day that the video is 30 years ago to the day that I uploaded, and it's Pelham versus Edgemont. At Edgemont, it was the first game of the season in 1991. It was the first game that Coach Dave Moskowitz coached for the Pelicans following Charlie Lightsey, who had been there forever, it feels like. I wanted to talk a little bit about that quickly. I wanted to say, one, I was devastated when Charlie Lightsey stepped down as the head coach of the Pelicans. I've known, at that time, I'd known Charlie my whole life. He was my first gym teacher when I was a kindergartner. And he was a great coach. He was a good friend, still is. He's got two great sons that Spencer and Trevor, who are just tremendous gentlemen, who I love seeing their content on Instagram. And I wanted to give a shout out to Charlie Lightsey and the extended family there, because that season, you know, I think we all kind of, in the back of our minds and in our hearts, you know, we really, although we embraced Moscow tremendously, we were really playing for Charlie Lightsey. And if you follow along, I'm gonna upload each week a game from that season from 1991. So for those of you who remember, you know how that season ended. I'm not going to give it away. Unfortunately, I don't have the most important 2 minutes of that season, which was the second to last game against Nanuet. So if anybody has that in their closet somewhere on VHS, please get it to me so I can attach it to the video. You know what I'm talking about if you were on the field that day in Nanuet. I'll leave it at that. So I uploaded that film that was against Edgemont. That was 3 years into Brian Connolly's tenure as head coach at Edgemont. And I mentioned that because I am now really good friends with his son, Brendan, who also coaches now. Brian is now Brendan's offensive coordinator, which I think is pretty cool. And shout out to Tim Connolly and Reggie Buongiorno, Jimmy Clark, Mike Tracy, and Rob Breitenbeck, who were all part of that staff from top to bottom. I mentioned that because later, 7 years later, I was coaching on that staff, and it brings back a lot of fun memories. So I thought it would be apropos to upload the videos on the 30th anniversary. So check that out for those of you who haven't seen it yet. You can see yours truly living the dream on the field. Number 58. To those of you that have been watching, I appreciate the feedback, positive and negative. I welcome all of that. I think it's been tremendous so far. I hope you're enjoying it. Most of you seem to be enjoying it. And it's supposed to be something enjoyable and fun. It's just not something that should be taken seriously, unless I'm talking about the Yankees. Then it's serious. But one thing that I wanted to bring up is that we have some younger viewers that I was unaware of, and I was told that I should watch my mouth because apparently I talk like a truck driver. But I admitted that from the first episode that I don't care. So I am very unforgiving that way. But I will tone it down for you, Katie, since you took Mom's phone and you apparently watched the podcast and saw me go off on something very important. Katie is my biggest fan, of course. Katie's also a sixth grader at Dobbs Elementary. Dobbs Middle School, right? I think I got that right. So I asked Katie to come on the podcast tonight because she has very strong opinions about Gary Sanchez, someone she used to love as a player on the Yankees. And I was told I was not allowed to talk about Gary Sanchez because I have nothing nice to say about Gary Sanchez. And it's inappropriate to talk bad about anybody. So for you, Katie, I'll leave it alone tonight. I will not say anything bad about Gary Sanchez. I won't talk about how he doesn't run out ground balls to first base when he hits into the shift. And I really can't kill him for that because Brett Gardner broke my heart on Friday night when he hit one into the shift and 3 steps shy of first base had given up on the play. Not that he would have been safe, but run through the base, guy. Come on. You're the veteran on this team. And people are looking up to you, and I've been defending you the whole time. I refuse to kill you because you're my favorite Yankee right now. And, like Katie said, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. You just got to keep hustling. I was also informed to let everybody know that there's a difference between chicken fingers and chicken nuggets. Katie was very adamant about letting everyone know that chicken fingers are little. And chicken nuggets are little, and chicken fingers are longer and thicker. Chicken fingers are made of tenderloin, predominantly. And they're battered, breaded, and either pan-fried or deep-fried, sometimes baked. But chicken fingers are not white meat. They're not tenderloin. They're specifically chicken finger meat that is breaded and deep fried, and they're crunchy and crispy, and they need to be dipped in a sauce. And anything that is not that is not a chicken nugget. It is a chicken finger. So chicken fingers are long, chicken nuggets are little and crispy and deep fried, and they're delicious. Chicken fingers are made of tenderloin, and they are not chicken nuggets. And if you say on your menu that it's chicken nuggets, you're going to get a bad Yelp review from a very angry sixth grader who wants everyone to know that chicken nuggets are very important to her, and they are to be classified only as chicken nuggets if they are, in fact, deep-fried, battered, and crispy. So I wanted to get that out of the way because it's very important that everybody knows that. And, of course, that will lead me to our sponsor, who does have chicken fingers on the menu. We don't have chicken nuggets, but the Candlelight Inn, as everybody knows, makes the best chicken wings in all of Westchester and anywhere south of Buffalo. So if you have something you think is better, you're welcome to write it in. But Candlelight chicken wings are, in fact, number one on everyone's list. And they have a variety of flavors. And there is no debate. And if you don't believe me, just go on to News 12 and log in on Super Bowl Sunday and see the amount of volume that the Candlelight does just on that one day in terms of chicken wings. Over 30,000 pounds of chicken wings for the Super Bowl every year. So if you're having a craving and you need to get something in your belly and you haven't eaten yet, they're open till 2 a.m. They open at 11 a.m. every day, 7 days a week, 365, and tell them that the Boinger sent you. All right, so we won't kill Gary Sanchez, but I am going to talk about the Yanks, who last time I spoke were just horrendous. I think they'd won like 3 out of 13 after that long win streak. And then they stumble into Boston after having lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets. They looked like they couldn't get out of their own way. They came off the Texas series to go into Boston, and it really looked like they were dead in the water. They were 2 games back of Boston. They were not hitting. They were not getting pitching. They just looked like they had a team that had just flat out lost it. And they go into Boston with 3 games. They've got Cole on the mound Friday night against Eovaldi, and if you've watched Eovaldi pitch, the guy's a beast. And it's a kick in the biscuits, because Eovaldi was our guy, right? That was the guy that got us through the playoff. That was our main Boone Coon right there. And to see him in a Boston uniform just absolutely breaks my heart. But Friday night, Boston insisted on wearing those putrid blue and yellow uniforms, which I think helped us. And Cole came in and mowed him down. The Yankees scored 6 runs off of Eovaldi in the first inning. 6 runs. They put the game away early, and that set the tone for the next 2 days. The Yankees ended up sweeping the Red Sox. And not to be outdone, and I have to mention it because he won the series for the Yanks, is Giancarlo Stanton. So I'm going to talk about Stanton because you guys know that I've been killing Stanton forever, and I'm gonna double down. I'm not gonna relent. I'm unforgiving, as I said before. I tweeted this on February 27th of 2020. Has Stanton ever had a big hit in his life? Not to mention, he's not very good in the outfield. He's basically the Trevor Hoffman of DHs. Well, since then, he's come on the second half of the season. I'm convinced that the acquisition of Odor plus Gallo and Rizzo has lit a fire under this guy's ass. They put him out in right field. He's playing. All of a sudden, he can play the outfield, whereas before they were resting him, not playing him. Boone actually said at one point last year that he was 120 to 130 game guy. You're paying that guy $27 million this year. You're going to pay him 30-something next year and 3 years after that. You've got him for another 6 years under contract. And to come out and make a statement like that with 6 years, 7 years left on this guy's contract, I thought was absurd. I said I would have ran him out to left field every day until he couldn't hurt anymore and begged to come out of the lineup. So we'll see. He's had a great summer. Can he keep it rolling into the fall? I'm going to bring in my first guest to answer that question. With us tonight is founder, president, CEO of thesportschill.com, Jimmy Randazzo. You can find Jimmy's content on Twitter, on Instagram.
Let's go.
Mr. Randazzo?
Let's go.
Welcome to the show.
How we doing tonight?
Fire, fire, fire.
Let's do it.
So tell me, what do you think? Is this the real Giancarlo Stanton?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say real quick, shout out to Katie. I'm a chicken finger kind of guy. Chicken wings at Candlelight, delicious. Best in Westchester, easily. Best in New York, easily. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Probably talking a little bit too loud. Shout out to Katie. I'm a big honey mustard guy on my chicken tenders. I don't know what Katie is. Would love to know that for next episode. But tonight, we're talking about the Yankees. Shout out Katie again. We're talking about the Yankees tonight. And I saw that you're changing your ways a little bit. You're not cursing, which is nice.
We're making an effort.
We're making an effort.
I'll save it for the real gritty moments.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's, it's tough. You want to balance. You just want to be on that fence right there. All right, let's get into the Yankees. First things first, I want to apologize to Brett Gardner. if we're talking Twitter, you know, I'm a guy who bashed him all year. He makes $7 million. He's a decent player now. It's fine and well. I just had to apologize to him because if this is going out on YouTube, I haven't been on YouTube in a while. If this goes out, another one I need to apologize to is Giancarlo Stanton because I'm not going to sit here and act like Giancarlo Stanton hasn't just put this team on his back the past 2 weeks.
Certainly has.
He's the only reason why the Yankees are where they are right now. So shout out to Giancarlo Stanton. You're saying that you don't think he's worth his contract? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel that the contract is a complete albatross. I feel like when we finally got past the A-Rod contract, this team opened up, it blossomed, it played well above its expectations, went to the 7th game of the LCS against the Astros, who we now know cheated to beat us.
But you're saying today he's still not worth the contract.
Today, I have to double down. This is one summer of what is this, fourth season with us?
Sure, yeah, fourth. I think it's fourth,
season.
2019. Yeah.
So I'm thinking long term, and the reason I say that is because A-Rod took a beating when he was here.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because it was his own fault. But he did win 2 MVPs. He carried us through every Twin series that we played against them in the playoffs.
Sure.
And I know we beat them like a ragged doll, but A-Rod was responsible for that single-handedly. The rest of the team kind of caught up after the wild card series, but A-Rod, through his playoff tenure with the Yankees, except for the debacle in Detroit, the ending of Joe Torre's career, basically, A-Rod carried this team more than once, took as much criticism as Giancarlo's getting now, but dollar for dollar, A-Rod delivered. 2 MVPs, a World Series. I mean,
Okay. But,
and
okay,
we're
you could say
paying
that. You could
less
say
of his
that.
contract than we are paying Giancarlo
Sure,
Stanton.
sure.
Although
No.
Miami is going to pay $10 million of it, I think, out of the next 6 years.
Listen. You can say he's an albatross, the contract's an albatross, I'll agree with all that. Well, you can't say how important he is to this team right now.
Right now.
You can't say currently that he isn't worth the money, because he absolutely is. He's worth, his WAR is 3.1, he's batting .277, 34 home runs, 90 RBIs. He had the best postseason in the history of the Yankees last season. He had the most home runs in an entire postseason.
But
And
that's what
you can't
that's what he's supposed to do.
Correct.
We're paying him for that.
It's
It's kind of like your first-round running back.
No, well, I'm just
Did you
saying.
draft Derrick Henry with the number 1 pick?
4th overall, yes, I did.
Did you win?
No, well,
You got him 4th overall? That's amazing.
time will tell. Time will tell. But I'm just saying. Listen, I get it. You're doubling down. You talk bad about him. He does well. I'm fine and well with that. But I'm here to play devil's advocate.
Are you making amends now?
I'm making amends. Well, listen. For right now, absolutely.
Are you on the Giancarlo Stanton bandwagon? Is he? He's had
No,
his
I will
Yankee-
never
he
be.
certainly had his Yankee
I will
moment.
never be on the Giancarlo Stanton bandwagon because he doesn't play pure defense. He can't give you 130 games on the field. But also, that's kind of like Aaron Boone giving him the Rob Gronkowski treatment, where Rob Gronkowski didn't play football till week 12. They want to save him for the World Series. For the Super Bowl, for the playoffs, and that's fine and well. That's fine and well. The problem with doing that this year, we thought we were going to win the AL East by 8 games?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't happen.
Didn't come to fruition.
So now, putting him out in the field, those 2 hits against the Red Sox are huge. And I'm just going to say, I'm not taking the stranglehold off of Giancarlo. I don't like the contract. I think he's going to fill that DH spot for the next 600 or the next 750 games, and he's under contract, and on and on and on. But I'm not going to sit here and bash him for the next 30 games this year. He can go 0 for 40 for the rest of the year, and I'll shut my mouth because he single-handedly brought
Delivered this team to the promised land.
well, not to the promised land, but
to the playoffs anyway.
Exactly. So DJ LeMahieu is not getting any of the blame right now.
He started hitting though.
He stinks this year. You
This
want to talk?
year he
You want to
stinks.
talk about contracts?
This year he
the guy's
stinks
making $150
compared to
million
what he
or whatever he's making.
I think he earned it.
But we're
now
not
he's
we're
not
not paying him for what he earned. We're paying from. So I'm just saying, if we want to bash players,
which we're not here to do.
no,
We're making amends.
No, this is
Jimmy's
good
making
content.
amends. I'm
Trust me.
doubling down.
This is good content. You don't want Giancarlo Stanton. You don't want to boo him this year.
No, I'm not a booer. I'm not
But you're
coming
going to
the
double down on the
stadium
hate. But you're going to double down on the hate.
and
You-
booing the guy. I'm not doing that.
But I'm saying besides
I'm
Giancarlo.
like you. I want to go and scream and yell.
Correct.
Get people out of their seats and make them so uncomfortable that they have to cheer and root for the Yankees.
Okay.
And
All right.
it's disappointing when they don't.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But
Listen.
I might just sit quietly because I expect more than what he's been giving us until now.
Sure. No, and I'm just defending Giancarlo Stanton today. I'm going to defend him next week. I'm going to defend him through October when he goes 0 for 4 in the wild card game or whatever happens, and I started to make that flip again. But today, what is it? September 27th. I'm defending Giancarlo Stanton's honor because I know you're not going to do that, and I get it. And you know what? You have every right to say I'm still out on Stanton. Who is this guy? Whatever. But you know where the Yankees would be right now? I would be in the Hudson River crying my eyes out right now if it wasn't for Giancarlo Stanton because we know that the season has been, up and down, roller coaster, in and out. We have guys like Nestor Cortez who are basically the MVP of this team. So yeah, this is what happens.
Guys stepping up in big ways. But that's been something that the Yankees have done under Boone. They were overachievers in 2017.
If we want to blame anybody, we want to blame Aaron Boone. The guy doesn't know how to make decisions. Clay Holmes, yesterday, 11 pitches, 3 strikeouts. Doesn't come out for the seventh inning. What are we doing? The guy doesn't know how to manage baseball.
Analytics taking over the game.
Correct. Baseball. So if we really want, I can get things off my chest talking New York sports for hours upon hours, and I know you just wanted me to come in and talk about Giancarlo. Today I'm on the correct side of history. I did have we're talking Twitter. I did make a joke. I said, can we trade Giancarlo Stanton back to the Marlins? Might have been deleted from the because I had hundreds of people tagging me every single time he had home runs. You morons don't understand that I'm happy that Giancarlo Stanton
you win that
is
battle
hitting
in the long run.
Oh, yeah, we're killing it. We're killing it. But right now, Giancarlo Stanton should be batting fourth. You just DH him.
You said previously that you didn't think he should be batting fourth. Is that correct?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think DJ LeMahieu should be batting first. I don't. I would bat Aaron Judge first or Anthony Rizzo.
Really,
Analytics
Rizzo first.
Analytics say, yeah.
Going by analytics,
Well, when the Cubs won the World Series, they had Chris Bryant, they had Schwarber, and they had
Kyle Schwarber. He's a Red Sox now. I hate that he's a Red Sox.
Yeah, and they had all
perfect for the Red Sox. I hate it.
Yeah, he's a great player. But they had all these guys up, and they realized, hey, these are our 3 best hitters. Let's put them first. Who cares if this guy is in the speedster?
Kind of like playing softball.
Correct.
Changes the game.
Absolutely. So,
how much? Not to cut you.
No, go ahead.
How much do you think Odor lifted this team when he got here, and how much more did Rizzo and Gallo's acquisition light that fire under guys like Judge and Stanton?
So, Odor was a huge part in April, May, June, July when they didn't have those guys, and I said it from the very beginning. But they didn't have any lefty bats. The only lefty.
Zero.
Exactly. They had Brett Gardner, and that was absolutely it. So when you bring in a guy like Odor, who's a madman, like a legit psychopath, is exactly what you need.
Full of energy.
Right. Because, Aaron Judge, love him to death. He's very vanilla, right? Giancarlo Stanton, we didn't know he had a pulse until, now he's talking crap.
A month and a half ago.
Yeah, now he's talking crap to, I'm watching my language, shout out Katie. Talking crap to
Lindor.
I
didn't like that. Derek Jeter doesn't do that.
Okay, but what do you mean you don't like that?
You just hit a home run. This little insignificant flea of a Met is chirping at you. You got to brush that off if you're Giancarlo.
I mean, you're not going to say
Can't let
anything.
that
You're
kid
not
get-
going to say
can't let
anything.
that guy get under your
If you're
skin.
not going to say anything nice about Giancarlo Stanton right now, you're never going to say anything nice about
Jeter
him.
doesn't do that.
Yeah, Derek Jeter's a
Right?
completely
All right,
different
but
person.
all right, fair. Who name another Yankee that would have done that from a different era?
I mean,
I don't think that.
Yeah, but
happens.
the Yankee-
stopping running
But-
around the bases during a home
But
run
if Odor
to
did,
yell at that guy?
Odor did that,
It's
would
kinda
you?
like-
But if Odor did that, you would be happy about it.
No,
yeah, come on.
I wouldn't be happy. About
Come
it.
on.
No, I mean, I love Odor, but I
Come
look at it like
on.
this. I hate Pedro Martinez, but who is Karim Garcia? That's kind of how you have to approach it.
No, I mean,
That's what I
listen,
look at.
listen. Giancarlo's, this team was so vanilla. Odor
Yes,
lit a
that's
fire
fair
under
enough.
them.
And Odor is a feisty guy. He'll be
For
the
sure.
first one out of the dugout if there's trouble.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
I mean, he's basically managing the bullpen. When he's at second base, he's talking Spanish to the relievers. He's getting things done. I absolutely love the acquisition. Obviously, when you got guys like Rizzo and Gallo coming in, which I thought was amazing. I mean, bringing in that, they needed that.
Gallo was having trouble. I think he was pressing. They benched him for one game, and then he started hitting again.
Yeah,
But
I mean, he needed a day off.
Yeah.
He's a very streaker player.
clearly loves being here.
Yeah, exactly.
Loves being a Yankee.
He's a streaky player. He's a very streaky player. He sees the ball well. He gets on base. He plays excellent defense other than the drop yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to happen.
Correct. And
You
I
can
think
forgive him one.
I think he's
Even though it
excellent.
happened in Boston in a crucial situation.
Yeah, I mean,
And he did get the guy out at second.
we can get over it.
Yeah.
We can get over it. I mean, Odor's not going to have a huge spot with this team going forward, but he is easily one of my favorite players this year. As I was saying, Nestor Cortez,
I know you
Jonathan.
love Nestor Cortez.
I love him.
Shows in your tweets.
Jonathan Loizaga, unbelievable. He'll be back.
Cortez, I think, needs a little bit more poise. When the Yankees had won their 13th game, they went out to Oakland. They were losing 2-0 in the first inning, and Cortez seemed to start to come unraveled very quickly. And I think that's if I had to pick on something,
Total disagree.
I
Total
would say
disagree.
he needs to tone that down a little bit.
Well,
Don't
but-
let him see his swag.
But he's
He
like,
just won 13 games.
but he's like a recruit from Dartmouth, playing at Alabama, killing it, and you want to talk about poise in one game? Like, come on, what are we even talking about? I mean, he's completely overperformed.
He's no Jalen Hurts.
He's completely overperformed, unlike every single person not named. I mean, the only other person who's overperformed this year, other than Nestor Cortez, is Jonathan Loizaga, who, we should talk about this for a second. The bullpen, we need
arms out there.
We need arms out there.
All the guys
Herman,
they brought up that started this year have done very well. The bullpen, the guys you were supposed to count on, have not been there consistently this year, and that's a big problem going into this playoffs.
and we need the arms to. I mean, you need to see if Herman is going to be ready for the postseason if we can get there. The fact that we have Luis Severino back, giving us actual innings out of the bullpen, is extremely huge. Chad Green looks depleted. I know he got out of it yesterday. I don't like him in really any spots in the
I'm very
postseason.
uncomfortable with Chad Green right now.
We also
I don't
have to
trust
see Jamison Tyone. He's going to have a huge start coming up against the Blue Jays. So time will tell. And honestly, if we're being completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees get swept versus the Blue Jays. I'm not going to sit
The way
here.
they played him the last time, it wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, they're
Coming off this Red Sox series, you have some momentum now. Who's the first pitcher in the series?
I don't know.
As they
Montgomery
say.
just pitched. Then we have the off day. I mean, it should be. We might have Nestor Cortez. I don't know. I
They
even
can
know how.
keep it rolling. They have to, they have to put their foot down. They have
Mm-hmm.
to keep it rolling. They have to be consistent. The Severino thing, before we went into Boston, I was not on board because I felt like, why don't we just give this guy the rest of the year off and let him get completely healthy and not put all this pressure on him? Now that we're 3 games past the Boston Red Sox and we won all 3 games, it's a different light. It's like, wow, we need him now.
Absolutely.
We need him to be Severino.
No, you can't have this guy. The guy had 5 innings
it too
pitched since
soon, though?
2018. No, it's not too soon. We But too soon. The guy was supposed to be back in July last year.
Yeah, but he had a setback, major setback.
This is all crap.
I mean,
this
last year was a
this is
wash
what the
anyway
Yankees
because of COVID.
organization wants to do. They want to hold people like Luis Gil back and all these other guys because they want to wait till 2025 when you have Eric Cole right now. You paid him $326 million, and you need to win now. You need to win now. You know what are we doing? What are we even talking about? You play the best guys. You're not worried about Luis Severino's health right now. You're worried about winning a championship right now because even if you look at Fangraphs right now, the Rays, they won the AL East, right? Basically, it's over. If you look at Fangraphs, who has a better chance to win the World Series? Statistically, from the computers, the New York Yankees do. So, what they're saying right now is, you guys can get in, and you guys can win that wild card game. You guys have just as equal as an opportunity as any other people in the postseason to beat the Dodgers eventually when they'll get there because Dodgers always end up there somehow, especially with the acquisition of
They
Scherzer.
certainly spend enough money. Fire, fire, fire. I'm here with Jimmy Randazzo from thesportsshill.com. Jimmy, let's roll it back a little bit.
Sure.
I want to talk about Rizzo for 1 second.
Sure.
Rizzo, the other day there was a graphic about Rizzo's hitting the most foul ball home runs. I thought it was a silly graphic. However, it does say something about where he's hitting and how he's hitting. Do you think that the Yankees or Rizzo himself needs to make an adjustment like Palmeiro did against Mariano when he would move up in the box and hit that breaking pitch before it had a chance to break? Does Rizzo need to take up? Because he's
No, listen. Anthony Rizzo is a guy, again, 2-star recruit. Nobody thought that this guy was ever going to be.
5'2" player in Italy.
Sure. Sure.
Starting first baseman for Italy in the baseball classic.
Absolutely. But he was down in the minor leagues. Nobody thought anything of this guy. He was basically done. Then he became the captain of the Cubs. He became the heart of that city. He had cancer, battled back from cancer, knows the game better than anybody, plays first base better than anyone.
Tremendous first baseman.
I'm not going to tell a guy who's a veteran who basically carried the Cubs on his back how to hit.
I haven't been as comfortable with anybody at first base for the Yankees since
Don Mattingly.
And
Amen.
I'm not knocking Tino,
Amen.
but I am knocking everybody else. Since Mattingly, I haven't had to worry about a thing since Rizzo got it.
Amen. I agree with that completely. Rizzo, it's unfortunate that he hits 100 cricket home runs or whatever the hell goes on. But yeah, no, I'm not telling Anthony Rizzo how to change his batting stance. Keep on doing what you're doing, Anthony Rizzo.
No, I don't want to change his stance. I thought maybe, moving up in the box might, because he's got tremendous bat speed. He can get around at any
We'll leave
pitch.
that up to Marcus Sims,
Now,
the genius.
Between Rizzo and Gallo, and I'll throw Stanton and Judge in there, how much of this hitting into the shift are you buying into in terms of playing against it, playing it? Do you want to see these guys go the other way? Do you want to see these guys take advantage of the shift when it's on? Because we can roll it back to 1977, Game 4 of the World Series, where Reggie Jackson leads off with an opposite field double in the second inning. Then that's followed by an opposite field double from Chambliss. Then Piniella hits one. It's second and third. Reggie scores. You've got the starter on the mound. He's only thrown like 30-something pitches, and Lasorda marches out and takes him out of the game. Do the Yankees need to take advantage of things like that to get to starters, to make the other team panic in this playoffs? Do they need to come out of this analytics garbage that we've been watching and start to play better, more fundamental baseball?
I mean,
seems like the teams that get further along in the playoffs do have to do that at some point.
for sure. It's a player-by-player concept. Joey Gallo hits opposite way fairly well. He knows how to lay down the bunt. But there are guys that are pull hitters. The analytics and
Just let them do their thing.
The analytics department is basically what they took for playing poker. They took 90% of their money and they said, "This is what we're doing. We're hitting the home run. We're living and dying by it." And by trying to do that, lay it down, single baseball. That's not the way the Yankees were basically constructed.
How much pressure does it put on a starting pitcher to know that your team is playing for that 3-run homer virtually every inning?
I don't think it puts any more or less pressure on them. I would say that if I was a pitcher of the Yankees, I'd be like, nah, let the guys do their thing. I think that I have more of a problem when Aaron Boone does something like not riding the hot hand, because analytically, hot and cold doesn't matter.
Right.
That's
the
what.
Guy's hot. Leave him in there.
Of course, 11 pitches. Clay Holmes. They went to somebody else yesterday. Stuff like that doesn't matter. Joey Gallo, the day that they took him out, he had back-to-back games where he hit home runs. Then you just start saying Andrew Velasquez. They were 13-1 with him.
How fun is he to root for?
He's amazing. Well, but not only that, he plays amazing defense.
Yeah,
and
he
when
plays
you
really
have
good
one
defense.
bad
Heavy ball
hitter with 8 really good ones and an amazing shortstop, you can't compute that. Numbers
Can't compute a guy, right, who's got his head in the game all the time.
For sure. But also at the same time, the numbers are the numbers for a reason. But Aaron Boone needs to take his, he plays scared. He overthinks.
Is he managing this any different than Girardi was when we were killing Girardi for doing the same thing virtually?
Girardi was like Tom Coughlin, where it came to a point where this guy's not managing the game correctly, time clock wise. He didn't know when to challenge something. Aaron Boone's all over the challenges and all that stuff. Aaron Boone just doesn't know how to manage. He doesn't know how to say, "Hey, Justin, you're messing up right now." He doesn't know how to say that to his players, and that is accountability.
Do you think that that he doesn't know how to say it, or is it that he's not allowed to say it? Because
it doesn't matter. If you're hired to do a job, you have to put your.
We know that Girardi was let go because he was tough on Sanchez and tough on the younger millennial players.
Sure. And listen, I've often said that Aaron Boone is Mickey Mouse. He's just a figurehead. He's playing with kids' gloves. He's only going to say nice things about his guys. But also at the same time, when you want to get output out of your players, especially the young ones who don't realize, hey, maybe I should be looking at something this way or the other way. I don't think that he knows the game of baseball as well as some of these managers do. And I don't think he has the cojones to really double down on things that
challenge the general manager.
Well, not even that. It's just like
because it's all coming from the top, right?
Why?
Here's the book. Stick to it.
Right, but also the whole hot and cold thing really infuriates me. When Kyle Higashioka was playing really well, just keep on playing Kyle Higashioka. When Gary Sanchez comes back and starts killing it, play Gary Sanchez. It's not like we don't have to think this or this, and that's what they've done. And you know what? Eventually, this is going to hurt Luke Voigt because this guy's confidence is shot. We don't need it. But the good thing is, right now,
that's part of the Giancarlo logjam right there. He could be playing more, but not that he should be playing over Giancarlo.
No, but this is again a good problem to have because the main focus is not. This is what the front office wants to do. They want to hoard all the talent that they possibly can for as long as they can. When we should really just be legitimately, how are we going to win today? And that's not what they're thinking about every day. They're thinking about, what's the 3-week, 4-week game script for the next month? And they're not thinking about how is the best chance are we going to win today? And that screws you when your entire team is underperforming. You can play like that when your team is overperforming or even playing to their certain output, but when DJ LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, Gio Urshela, all these guys, they aren't playing to their correct output, this is what's going to happen. So that's what I have to say.
Fire. Before I cut you loose, I'm going to ask you 10 yes or no questions.
Go ahead.
Fire away just yes or no. If you want to expand, go right ahead.
Sure.
Does Aaron Boone win a World Series this year?
No.
Does Aaron Boone get fired?
Yes.
Will Willie Randolph ever manage the New York Yankees?
No.
Will Don Mattingly ever manage the New York Yankees?
I wish.
Do the Yankees sign Rizzo long term?
No.
Does Gallo get a contract?
He has one more year, so we'll see.
Okay. Brett Gardner is back next year. Is he player manager?
I hope he's not that. I hope he's playing for the Montreal Expos next
Do the
year.
Yankees need another starting pitcher in the rotation?
Absolutely. Next year they'll get it.
Is Chapman the closer next year?
He better be. He's under contract.
Opening day second baseman.
Next year?
Next year.
Gleyber Torres.
Wow. There you have it. Fire, fire, fire.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thanks so much for
Of
coming
course,
on.
of course.
You can find all of Jimmy's content at thesportschill.com. You can catch him on Twitter at thesportschill, on Twitter, Instagram. Check him out, Jimmy Randazzo. Thank you, Jimmy.
Of course.
Well, that brings us to closer to the end of our show. Definitely want to big thanks to Jimmy for coming on, my first guest. That was tremendous of him to make himself available tonight. So thank you, Jimmy. Couple of good points there that Jimmy made. We can't go back and forth. Are we an analytics team? Are we playing the hot and cold? Are we, where are we right now? How do we manage that? Is Boone managing it correctly? Most people don't think so. A lot of Yankee fans, when we're winning and everything's great, Boone's great. When clearly he's making wrong decisions, it's on the manager. Is he Billy Martin? No. Is he Joe Girardi? No. Is he Joe Torre? No. He's not a plus manager, and it shows. Meaning he's not doing anything through the course of the season that is going to win you 5 or 10 extra games. Whereas a Billy Martin, we all know, is probably the best manager in baseball history. I don't think there's anybody better in terms of what they bring to the table in plus wins. But I can't expect Aaron Boone to be Billy Martin because he's managing the team under the guise of analytics. And, do we bring him back? Is he going to come back next year? Is Cashman going to be back next year? A lot of questions the Yankees have. Rizzo is going to cost a lot of money, and he's worth every penny. Let me just say that first and foremost. If I had to bring one guy back, and there's a lot of guys that deserve to stay in pinstripes, and he just got here. But if I'm being objective and I'm looking at the field and I'm looking at this roster, how do you not want a guy like Anthony Rizzo on your team? And you got him for nothing, which means you can afford to pay him in the long run. So, it's going to be tough because Rizzo has cemented his foundation and legacy in Chicago. And the Cubs are going to spend money. And the Cubs would be foolish not to come back and offer Rizzo a huge contract. It wouldn't be unheard of where a player gets traded and then goes back to the team that he came from. Whether it was money, whether it was management, you can go on about it. But Rizzo has to be priority number one, in my opinion. If Rizzo goes, can the Yankees win without him? Yes, they can win without him. But I just love this guy so much. Who doesn't? Okay, the fan base loves this guy. We have suffered at first base without a real first baseman. Voit is not a first baseman. Before Voit, I know DJ LeMahieu can play first base, but that's not his natural position. We don't even know what the long-term status is for DJ LeMahieu. We've gone through Giambi, who was just, terrible first baseman. There's no way around it. The guy was there to hit 40 home runs a year. He came from Oakland, hitting 330. He hit 240 for the Yankees, okay? That's the stuff that bothers me. That's why I get on Giancarlo Stanton so much, is because there's almost no way to live up to that contract. And it makes it almost impossible to root for the guy. When he hits a grand slam against Boston, that's what we're paying you to do. Does it take away from the excitement? No. Does it take away from the winning and all the fodder that goes with it and the bragging rights? No. We just punish Boston as much as we can because we hate them. And they suck. And if you don't understand that as a Yankee fan, you're too young. Because anybody my age or older gets it. They are the enemy. They are public enemy number one. The Boston Red Sox. I hate even saying their name. I don't like traveling through that state. I don't like sitting in that ballpark. Although it is beautiful and it's retro. I just hate them so much. And to think that the Red Sox will be in on the Rizzo bidding war, I want to win that bidding. I don't care what it costs. I don't want them to have Rizzo. They don't deserve him. I hate that Kyle Schwarber went there because he's perfect for the Red Sox. But that makes this rivalry more exciting. It's fun when they're down and we can kick them and kick dirt on them and spit on them. But the fact of the matter is it's a fun rivalry. As much as I hate them, it makes it more exciting, and it makes the Yankees rise to the level of their competition. So if it makes us better and helps us win in the long run, fine. But losing a guy like Rizzo and not being able to bring him back is going to hurt the Yankees. Gallo is going to be in left field, hopefully for the long term. Guy's a tremendous ball player. I know he's been struggling. Why am I more forgiving towards Gallo than I am Stanton? It's a great question. Gallo's not getting paid $30 million a year. He's never going to get paid $30 million a year. He's a guy who's going to come in and give you a solid left field and play probably 140-plus games. He's a guy who's a gamer. He doesn't want to come off the field. He's durable. And you can plug him into the lineup and just leave him there and not have to worry about it, especially if you're into analytics. Then it's a no-brainer. We're going to probably lose Brett Gardner after next season, so it's not even worth talking about whether you love him or hate him. I love him. I would, it's hard to see a player go at the end of his career. It's hard to let go of that because you want to see them play forever. But, he will be here next year. I'm hoping that they make him the manager or the organization gives him the job somewhere, further down the trough, so to speak. But I would love to see him in pinstripes for the rest of his life. I'd love to see him manage his team because that guy's got guts. That guy's got a head for baseball. He's passionate. He loves his teammates. He's a leader. And he grinds out every game. So I apologize for killing him for not running out to first base the other night because the guy does it 99 times out of 100. I can't really be that upset. Who else? We're going to live and die with this Cole contract. We need another starting pitcher. Corey Kluber, is he the answer? Are we going to keep him? Is he healthy? Is he in for the long term? Is he rejuvenated? Has he found the fountain of youth? Has he passed all the arm injuries? We'll see. DeGrom's going to be a free agent at some point. It looks like maybe. Obviously, the Yankees are going to be in on that. But my gut feeling is that the Mets are going to pay him. They should pay him. I mean, why wouldn't they? They've got all this money now. So I think it's a moot point. But it'd be fun to talk about, especially if he goes somewhere else. That's where we are with the Yanks. So we'll leave it alone for now. I did end up traveling down to the stadium to get my Mattingly bobblehead, which is not here tonight, but I do have the Ichiro bobblehead here tonight. I literally took the train into the Bronx, walked in, got my bobblehead, had myself a Lobel's steak sandwich, and then I came home. Didn't even watch the game, and it was good that I didn't stay because the Yankees got crushed anyway. I did also, the next day, I went to the Jets game. So for those of you who know, if you log into your Google account or if you go to YouTube and just type in Jets fan gives up, you'll see the video with 10,000 hits plus of me burning all my Jets gear. And I swore that I would never go to another Jets game. And I can tell you, I promised on the first show that I would not kill the Jets. But those green pins behind me, if you can see them, I set them up on purpose because what I saw on Sunday, it's last Sunday now, when they played the Patriots, same old Jets. Same old Jets. The Patriots came out with their rookie quarterback. He didn't look like a rookie. He wasn't throwing the ball all over the place, interception after interception. He didn't have happy feet. He wasn't throwing off the back foot into the middle of the field. The Jets just can't get out of their own way. There is just no saving this organization. They're putrid. And I'm not knocking any one player because they all stink right now. A couple guys are playing well. Marcus May, guy's a baller. All right. If C.J. Mosley can stay healthy, we'll see. The guy's a player. I don't know if he's the answer for this defense in the long term. They still don't have a pass rusher. I think this guy, the rest of the guys in the secondary, they have a lot of experience ahead of them. So I can't kill them because they're young and they've got the right coach. But same old Jets. I mean, just looking around the stadium and seeing dejected Jet fans everywhere, they can't be happy. They just can't be happy. And, of course, it doesn't help that Sam Darnold is now 3-0 with the Panthers. So is Sam Darnold for real? He's got an offensive line. He's got a running back who just got hurt that he can hand the ball off to 30 times a game if he has to. The Jets don't have that. They've got all these weapons, allegedly, at wide receiver. I don't see it. I don't see a legit deep threat. I don't see a guy that can carry this team on third downs and get big first downs when they need a catch. I don't see separation. I see receivers running into each other. Case in point, this is just so Jets. And I know we're talking about a rookie quarterback, but this is a play that a sixth grader playing flag football can make. It's a no-brainer. It's 2nd and 2. You can't throw the ball anywhere else but deep down the field where nobody else can get it but your guy. It's 2nd and 2. Okay? You can't take a 3-step drop and get happy feet. I don't care if Reggie White is breathing down your neck. You've got to get rid of that ball and throw it down the field. And if you can't do that in a 3-step drop and challenge your receiver to go make a play, it doesn't matter that you're a rookie quarterback. That was not a headsy football play. That is not a play that a pro quarterback, rookie, veteran, or in between, you can't throw that ball over the middle, off your back foot, into traffic, and not expect it to get picked off. That's a horrible play on 2nd and 2. I don't care if you're 2nd and 2 from your own goal line. You got to chuck that thing down the sideline and make your receiver go get it. And I'm simplifying it, but it's 2nd and 2. You can't make that mistake. You just can't make that mistake. And it just got worse from there. You saw guys missing blocks. You saw receivers literally running into each other. You saw one guy, the right tackle, I believe, blocking the right guard into somebody else while 3 Patriots are running free at the quarterback. He threw one interception. You know, you're going to have those ducks where you just throw them up for grabs, I guess, or maybe the guy ran the wrong route. But he, again, threw it off the back foot. McCourty comes in uncontested, picks it off. And then this past week, the Jets get shut out by the Broncos. And, I mean, was it the Broncos? I can't even remember who they played now. Jesus. The Jets get shut out, and it's getting worse every week. And it's only week 3. And it's like there's no end in sight for the Jets. On the other side, Teddy Bridgewater looks like a guy that can march an offense down the field. The Jets brought him in behind Sam Darnold and then subsequently let him go. I'm not saying they should have kept Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not saying he should be the Jet quarterback. I'm just saying that you can't change the regime every 3 years and expect to win games. You can't have this much ineptitude in the organization. Joe Douglas has a lot to answer for right now. Yes, I know it's only week 3. Yes, I know it's only Zach Wilson's 3rd week. I get it. Okay? Lay off the Jets, right? But I'm not laying off the organization. It's the same old Jets. When is it going to stop? Woody Johnson, if you think he cares about winning, all he cares about is money. Okay? From the PSLs to the, $7 sodas and the $9 hot dogs and everything else in between, the Florham Park, he's alienated almost half the fan base already. The stadium itself, that's a whole nother mess. The Giants should be ashamed of themselves for that one too. That place is horrible. Coming to the stadium to watch, knowing we're going to watch. I mean, the tailgate started at 8:30 in the morning. The tailgate was better than the game. In most cases, that's probably true for at least 25 teams in the NFL. You can't show up to this big gray box and expect your fans to be excited. Then you go into the game, and Fireman Ed is leading the JETS Jets, Jets, Jets chant in the middle of player introductions. Ed, are you drunk? What are you doing? The Jets haven't done any. I mean, they can't. It's like they got two left feet. Nothing makes sense about that place. The outside aesthetically is disgusting looking. I don't care what they say about how it looks at night when they light it up green or they light it up blue for the Giants or all these. It looks terrible. It absolutely looks terrible. And the inside is worse. It's like you're sitting inside a black and white television having to play with the font and the view and the tint the whole time. They're just terrible. It's just not a good place. You walk in one gate, you got to go up all these escalators to get to your seat. Then you're walking against traffic. If I have to go in one gate, why am I walking against traffic to get to my seats? Where did these people come from? It's just a mess. The whole place is a complete mess. And the Jets play there, and you know what? They deserve it. Them and the Giants, shame on both of them. Shame on the Maras and the Tisches and whoever was responsible. That stadium, considering what they paid for it, is a disaster. Someone should do a forensic accounting of where that money went and what they spent it on and what it costs to build that stuff, because it's atrocious. Who wants to? I can't believe they even played a Super Bowl there, that the NFL would even entertain the thought of having playing a Super Bowl there. Ridiculous. Absolutely, they don't deserve it. Absolutely don't deserve it. And for what they paid with no roof on the top, I mean, that thing should have, you should have a landing strip on there for the helicopters that did the flyover. I mean, please. I could go on, but the Jets aren't worth my time. And right now, the Giants aren't worth much more either. They look terrible. They look absolutely horrendous. Saquon Barkley is a great talent. The guy can't hit a hole for his life. When he does, he misses the... I mean, it's all on film. It's all there. I'm not making it up. It's all there. They just look absolutely terrible. You know, Danny Dimes had some flashes of brilliance, and then he gets a strip sack. Or then he gets sacked in a crucial situation when you got to get rid of the football. He's not progressing the way you want to see your third-year quarterback progress following the career of a Hall of Famer. So it's a sad day right now for New York football, unless you're a Bills fan. If you're a Bills fan, you're sitting pretty good right now. You're doing all right. You got a good quarterback, tremendous defense. You're going to be in the mix. You're probably going to win a division by default. The Dolphins stink. I don't care what anybody says. They stink. They've got a bright future, though. They've got a lot of draft picks ahead of them, so maybe they can make something happen, and they got a good head coach. But right now, the Bills are in charge of that division. Cowboys tonight rolled over the Eagles. The Eagles can't get out of their own way. Jalen Hurts looks like it's all or nothing with this kid, but who cares? It's the Eagles. I don't care about them. So I think I was right week one. I think the Cowboys, this is their division to lose. I don't see the Giants challenging. I don't see the Redskins challenging them. Although the Redskins have a tremendous defense, I'm not a believer in the long run. And the Eagles and the Giants, they're all putrid right now. They're just putrid. I don't see them making a run at anything. So it's the Cowboys division to lose, which, you know, for most people that's unpalatable, but it's reality. So I don't think Dak is great. Not my guy, but that team is built to win, and they're certainly built to win that division, and they're healthy, and it looks like they're going to get better every week. So if they continue along that path, you know, they're going to win a division. They're going to be probably a home team in the playoffs. They get at least one home game. So good for them, I guess. It's good for football when the Cowboys are in the playoffs. So tonight, at some point, I'll upload the next Pelican game, which will be from September 28th, 1991. Pelham's first home game that year versus Spack and Kill. And this is a good film to watch because not only, I won't give away the ending, but it's a good film to watch because there's a lot of plays in this game that you wouldn't even see in an NFL game. Guys getting hit late, guys getting hit without the football, plays that would be level for targeting, probably in a college game today. So take a look because there's a lot of good stuff in this film coming up from 30 years ago. And again, you get to see yours truly. Not my best game. We're saving that for the end of the season, but check it out. You see my man Paul Bopp, shout out, and it'll be a lot of fun for any Pelicans watching tonight. Tune in and check out Game 2 of the 1991 Pelican season versus Spack and Kill. If you haven't been vaccinated yet, get your vaccine. I haven't been vaccinated, and I'm not getting it. At least not yet. And I've been taking a lot of heat for that. And I can tell you that the people giving me the most heat are not doctors. Although the pediatrician did give me a little business today, and I wouldn't take the bait. I'm going to leave it at it's my choice. And that's that. But when somebody can come along and tell me what the long-term effects are of the vaccine and tell me that it's completely and totally 100% harmless, then I'll listen. When it finishes its clinical trials, then I'll listen. But until then, kiss my ass. That's it for tonight. Thank you for joining. Make sure you check out at Boinger Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Click the link in the bio to get yourself a Screw You t-shirt. Remember that this is what helps me bring you guys the content. It gets me guests to come in like James Randazzo from thesportschill.com. And it will keep me afloat as long as the Candlelight is still sponsoring me. It'll give me an opportunity to grow the business, grow eventually the website, get you more content, get you more guests on the show, and get us down to hopefully Yankee Stadium where we can interview some ball players. Hopefully we can get that done sooner rather than later. But that's the only source of revenue right now is the T-shirts, which are on teespring.com. But you got to click the link in the bio at Boinger Sports. Go to Twitter, go to Instagram, click the link in the bio, and find yourself a Screw You T-shirt. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who've been watching, hope you enjoy the show tonight. And we'll be back again sooner rather than later. I apologize for the delay in episode 3 here. Stay in your lane. And next will be, let's see, today's Monday. So we may be able to squeeze in another episode this week. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.